Hi everyone, I've just popped out to the car, sitting in my Kona electric, doing some of the boring testing that I tend to do. I wanted to know how much charge loss there is roughly when you're charging at these lower kilowatt ratings, changing the charge current down to minimum, etc., and seeing what the difference is. So I'm just doing some experimentation with recording how much kilowatt hours are coming through the Zappi for 1% of charging, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just sat in the car doing that. So I thought, what the heck, let's turn live stream on and see if there's anyone there to have a chat with. So if you've got anything you wanted to chat about, now's your chance. Otherwise it'll be a little bit of a boring session seeing me sat watching and writing notes down. Right, why can't I see charging? I'm just looking across at my Zappi to see why the car's not charging at the moment, and it looks like someone's turned the oven on. So I'm going to be here a while, I think. One of the things that I'm contemplating while I'm considering all these solar PV charging and charge rates, etc., is sorry, I'm just putting the windows down, it's a bit hot in here. One of the things I'm considering is how many kilowatts I really need. It really brought it home to me when I tested the Jaguar I-Pace that it was so inefficient that I could plug it in all day on solar and not gain very many miles because it needed so much more energy to use. Whereas my Kona, every kilowatt hour I put in, I'm gaining at least 5 miles of summer driving because I'm getting over 5 miles a kilowatt hour. So yeah, I'm definitely noticing that the Kona is very good for the configuration I have. That, well, how much does it take? So if I'm getting 5 miles per kilowatt hour, then I need 100 kilowatt hours a month to do 500 miles, or 200 kilowatt hours to do 1,000 miles a month. Well, this month I'm generating, getting close for 500 kilowatt hours. So if I can capture the majority of that and get it towards the car, then I've got no doubts whatsoever that I can run the Kona Electric purely on solar power. But with an I-Pace or an e-tron or anything that's doing 1 point something or 2 point something miles per kilowatt hour, that's that changes things dramatically because it's probably doubling my electric consumption. So if I'm doubling the consumption, and instead of having to need 100 to 200 kilowatt hours, I'm going to need 200 to 400 kilowatt hours, then my configuration is not going to be enough to run on solar only. So I'm going to lose some of the fun. Because is it fun? Yeah, it is. You know, when you get an electric car, you do tend to play, or I and other people I've heard from do tend to play the game of how efficient is your car and how efficient can you be, which is the complete opposite to perhaps how you drive before. And it's the same with solar. You're trying to see how much you can maximize the use of it. So you got 14 people watching, but nobody announced who you are. Let me know who's out there, and it'd be nice to know who's watching. So yeah, all of those things are going through my mind about energy and how to use it and how to maximize it. And at the moment, I'm doing it all manually, and I think I've sort of told myself that that's the idea. Hi, Andy. I've told myself in the first year that it's a test year. And Brian, good to see you, mate. I just want to play and test it, and I don't mind how inefficient it is while I'm doing all of those things because it's. And Dan, Tesla's going to open the website for UK. What do you think about a Model 3? Uh, yeah, about different cars. I'll talk about that in just a moment. I want to do my first year of electric car and solar PV, just playing with it and understanding it and learning about it. And then I'll work out all the different configurations that I want to do. At the moment, I'm literally running outside all the time, checking the Zappy and seeing whether it's still charging, because I do have a fault that it's not working as I would like it to at the moment. But I'm on a really, really early release of firmware, so I'm waiting for the hub and get that upgraded. Anyway, so yeah, I'm running outside all the time. I'm checking the car, I'm recording down notes, and what I really need is the Zappy app so that I can tell what's going on the charger from indoors, and I need a wireless switch controller on the hot water as well. In at the moment, I don't have an automatic diverter to heat my hot water. So one of my next steps is, do I just get a wireless switch so that from my phone I can turn the car on versus turn the hot water on and do it all from the phone, still manually? Or do I go for something more automated? I'm still of the feeling that perhaps the spending of two, three, £400 putting in an automatic diverter isn't necessarily worth it for the sake of picking up your phone and scheduling a schedule for when to heat your hot water. So I want to do all that research, all that understanding, and then make a decision. Cars. Yeah, am I thinking about a Model 3 Tesla? The weird thing is, and I know some people don't really understand why this is with me, I've been considering a different car and changing this Kona virtually from the moment I got it. And I honestly don't understand why that is. Because I am happy with the car. I love the car. So why am I looking at other things? Is it because I want to maximize the resale value of the car? Well, yeah, that sort of crosses my mind, that I could sell it, not make a loss, and buy something else. But those other things are priced quite high at the moment. I honestly think that at the moment the Nero and the Kona are priced higher than they should be and need to be, and that's because they're not making very many of them, so they can charge more because they're going to sell them. So I'm not sure whether I'm getting good value selling the Kona and buying something else. The Model 3 appeals to me greatly because of the efficiency. My ideal car would be a cross between the Ioniq and the Model 3, in that I like the look of the Model 3, but I like the traditionalness of the Ioniq, the dash and those sort of things. Personally, I could get on with using just a computer screen to run the car, but I'm not sure how Susan would get on with that. That's something we'd really have to test. The Hyundai Ioniq is so efficient, I really like that, but it is a boring looking car. It looks like a reps car, and if only there was a makeover you could do to it, an upgrade kit of better wheels and something to change the side lines of it, it could look so much nicer and better. So yeah, I'm always looking at options for what the next car is, and it is really tempting to let the Kona go and place an order for a new Volkswagen ID. I love the look of the new Peugeot 208. That's a really lovely looking car as well. Hi, Gaza. Yeah, the Model 3 though is really appealing. In They seem to just be doing it right. I'm not a Tesla fanboy. I think a lot of people, love Apple products and they love Tesla products because of the kudos of the brand. But I'll confess that Tesla seem to be doing it right. And if you compare that to Hyundai, how service and parts aren't that great and availability isn't that great, I think you get a lot more comfort knowing that a Tesla is there and will work. The Hyundai, though, damned reliable. You can't. Hi, Peter. Quebec, Canada. Wow. What time of day is it over there? Is it 6, 8 hours ahead or behind? I can't remember. Where's the time on here? Just gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the moment here. So yeah, the Model 3 is really appealing. It's a pretty car. 8:04. Wow, that's behind then. So 5 hours. Okay. Well done for getting up and watching me. That's is that sad or what? I wonder with the Model 3 as well, that it's quite an old looking design. When the Model S came out, it was exciting and new. I always thought it looked a bit Aston Martinish. Perth as well, Richard. Wow, all over the world. Yeah, I thought the Model S when it came out had hints of Aston Martin, and I really, really liked that. But they haven't really changed the look of the car. And the Model 3 is like a mini Model S. So at some point, will they change the look of the car? Hi from Germany. Duh. Great to see you online. Any British people here? Everyone from different countries. Ah, you're off to work soon, right? Okay. Well, I'm grateful that you're choosing me to watch rather than someone else. But I don't know. I think the big thing that's working out with me in my mind is my financial situation. Hi, British. Great to see you from Britain. Does it say British? Is that a typo or what? Yeah, on the car, I I know in a couple of years' time my financial situation is going to change. That I'm 52 at the moment, so in 3 years' time I'm 55, and I'm entitled to claim my pension. So at last I'll have some income. I'll have some money. For those that don't know, I don't work. I've retired at 42. Walberswick. Oh, now that is a proper place to go to. Jeff, I want to go to Walberswick for fish and chips. Um, it's on the other side of, I can never remember, is it the other side of Aldborough or the other side of Southwold? But yeah, Walberswick, famous place. So yeah, I'm going to come into some more money in a couple of years' time. So I know I'm going to upgrade or change the Kona if that's what I've still got at that time now. And I'll have enough money, with luck, so long as Britain doesn't go bust. I'll have enough money to buy something like a Model 3 or a Polestar or an iPace. All of those things are going to be within reach for me. And that's really, really exciting. So my eye is on the future all the time. But right now, the new Ionic coming out this September, that really, really appeals to me, and it's pulling me because of the efficiency of the car. And yeah, the Model 3 has very similar efficiency, and it looks gorgeous as well. So those two are probably top of my list at the moment that I'm just keeping an eye on. And if an opportunity arose, if some person out there watching now suddenly said, "Oh, I'll buy your car for £39,000," would I let it go? So long as I was confident I could get something else to drive until I could get a new Ionic or a new Model 3, then yeah, I might do for a top money. I might let the car go, but other than that, why would I? Because this Kona is brilliant. I mean, it drives really well. It's got fantastic range. If I considered the new Ionic, it's going to have a range officially of 170, 180 miles. But you know, realistically, with how I drive it, 200, 220 in the summer is going to be achievable from it. So that fits my needs. But why start out with 220 miles on the GOM when I can have 320 miles on the GOM? I'm sat here now charging. Let's see if I can show you. We're at 88%. I'm charging nice and slowly at the moment. And 303 miles in eco mode. In comfort mode, 292. So there's so much range, it's incredible. So why would I want a car with less range? All of those things are going through my mind, and it's my first year in EVs, so I need to get my mind sorted about what I really want for the future and learn as much as I possibly can and understand my needs and requirements as much as anything else. Yes, I'm going to drive the car more than Susan, so my needs are more important, but I am conscious that she doesn't use any of the tech that's in the Kona. She's never used cruise control. She doesn't know how the lane keep assist works or anything like that. She doesn't use smart cruise control. She barely knows how to use Bluetooth and plug a phone in. No disrespect to Susan, but technology just doesn't interest her. So going to a Model 3, I would need to make sure that you can just get in and drive it and you don't have to use the tech and it really works. New Roadster, 600 plus miles. Yeah, but where's Cracker going to go? Where's my little dog going to go? He's normally sat in the background here somewhere, but not today. I really don't know how a Roadster would fit. I would love to have one, that's for certain. So win the lottery? Yep, there'll be one of those on the driveway for absolute sure. I'm missing some of these messages. Orders in Oz and the Ionic. Why? I can't quite see these messages because something's getting in the way. Cancelled. So the orders in Oz have been cancelled for the Ionic 28. Looks like the new one. Sorry, I can't quite see that. It's a pain, this thing. I've got the messages on the left hand side of the screen, but then something up here is in the way. I'm just getting called for lunch. Can you believe how homely and British is that? Susan hangs out the window and goes, "Ooh, roof rack. What's the? Oh, right on the for Cracker. Yeah, yeah. Put him a dog bed on top of the Roadster. Ah, one of the things I do miss from cars is convertibles. Um, I've had quite a few British TVR convertibles, and I love them for the noise, the acceleration, and the atmosphere, the ambience of being in a convertible. And I hope that Tesla do a nice convertible roadster, a nice luxury one, not a little tiddly Lotus-sized one, but something a little bit bigger. And if there was a like a half seat at the back that we could put Cracker in, yeah, that'd be tempting. That'd be really nice. So maybe one day when that comes up. Solid state battery soon? Oh no, I don't think so. New battery tech is great, and we hear more about it all the time, and different companies are investing, but it takes years and years and years of testing before they put it into production. So lithium ion batteries are here for quite a while. I don't see anything shaking that up unless Dyson come along and start with a new tech that they've been testing all along. Other than that, I would imagine that we're going to see these batteries as they are for quite a while, at least for the lifetime of this Kona anyway. If I'm guessing, how long before a new tech really comes out in new cars? 3 to 5 years would be my guess. I'd love to be surprised. I'd love to be surprised and hear that production cars are going to have better batteries and different styles sooner, but I doubt it. I hope new Ionic will. Oh, I really can't see the size of that message. No, the new Ionic. The new Ionic, I think, is going to be a bit of a risk. The reason for that is my understanding is they're going to put the battery in the same positioning that it's always been. So they've repackaged the battery pack into the same positioning for the car, because obviously the design of the car is intended for all the weight distribution, etc., for the battery in a particular place under the rear seats. Now, it's not going to be the same battery pack as the Kona, but I bet Kona 39 kilowatt hour. But I bet it's the same batteries repackaged into a different cell pack. Now, if that's the case, the Kona 39 runs at a lower voltage than the Kona 64, and as a result of that, charging is slower, and I saw that in the tests. The current Ionic, the 28 kilowatt hour, runs at a higher voltage than even the Kona 64, and that's why it is brilliant at charging, especially rapid charging. And if if they've got this new battery pack in from the style of cells from the new Kona 39, and if they're not going to run such a high voltage, then one of the great things about the Ionic could be ruined. Yes, we'll have more range in the car. Yes, there's a potential for a more powerful motor. It might well be the 130 horsepower. Just had a wasp in the car. It might be the 130 horsepower motor in the Ionic that's in it, but if they don't get the voltages right, and if they don't get this battery configuration right, we could lose one of the great features of the Ionic, and that would be a great shame. So for me, I'd only consider buying it if, one, the performance was better, so they've got the 130 horsepower motor, two, the range is, as I'm hoping, officially 175, 185, with 200, 220 possible with careful driving. And then it's just to do with the charging. I really, really hope that the Ioniq sorts himself out charging. Dyson, what are Dyson going to do? Well, Dyson's always pretty radical, isn't it? So we don't have a clue what he's making. Is he making a four-door saloon? Is he making a hatchback? Is he making a city car? Is he making something tiny? I'm being double called. So I haven't got a clue about Dyson. My gut feel from the press that I've read, he was doing some exciting things, but I get the impression he came across some difficulties and has had to compromise. So things aren't going to be as good as we were hoping. Who knows, though? He hasn't failed so far. It could be great, but I suspect it's going to be a tiny little car that we get. Anyway, hope you enjoyed little chat with me. It's great to see you all online. I'm going to have to leave it there. Just a very short online session today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Next video, I'll give you a heads up on what the next video is. I am trying to do a test on this Kona electric because something's been curious, not bugging me, but curious for quite a while, that normally with regen on an electric car, it's when you're off throttle and you're braking. Well, with this Kona, and from the other Konas that I've driven, and probably the Ioniq and Nero too, you get regen even when you're on the throttle. And I want to try and show that in a video and demonstrate it and try to understand why it's happening, going downhill, accelerating, and getting regen at the same time. So that's what I'm going to try and do in one of my next tests. Anyway, quick heads up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care for now, and goodbye.